wants to work with them to implement the recommendations in this report. These problems existed long before they got here, and there's hope that with the leadership here with Governor Scott and Secretary Swope, we can work together for a more transparent, more effective enterprise Florida.
There's what, 12 board members? Is that the number I heard?
There are 12 on the executive committee. There are more than 60 enterprise Florida board members total. They're online at eatflorida.com.
Okay, and do you know how many of them, you said they're receiving tax incentives, how many of those are actually receiving tax incentives?
Yeah, let me go through that. I'll give you the exact company names. Okay, it's on page 5 of the report. Enterprise Florida Board of Directors member Public Supermarkets is one of 11 businesses receiving an urban job tax credit in 2010. The specific value of that tax credit given by Enterprise Florida to Publix was not included in their most recent incentives report. Enterprise Florida granted 2 incentive awards to its board member Embraer Aircraft for $150,000 and $400,000. That's in their latest 2011 incentives report. All this is on their website, by the way. This report was given to us by the Enterprise Florida team in hard copy, and they asked us to take a look at it, and that's what we did. Lockheed Martin also received incentive awards, and board member Gray Robinson is the registered lobbyist for Enterprise Florida. So you're looking at 4 board member companies of Enterprise Florida that we've found so far that just in the 2011 fiscal year that ended in 2011 received incentives. There could be more. I'm sure in past years there were more. The St. Petersburg Times, Tampa Bay Times has reported significant, quite a bit about this in the past. Cindy Freeberg has done a series of investigative reports about the self-dealing going on in Enterprise Florida.
There are also reports that I think last year some data came out showing that the jobs that were expected to be created over the last 15 years or so, only a fraction of those jobs are actually created. Can you talk about that component and whether or not Florida is living up to the expectation of what these incentives are?
Yeah. Well, this is what Michael Bender reported for the Tampa Bay Times Miami Herald in 2011. He reported new data shows Florida has signed contracts worth $1.7 billion since 1995 and returned for promises of 225,000 new jobs. Only about a third of those jobs have been filled, while the state has paid out 43% of the contracts. Now, Enterprise Florida may have a different perspective on this data. They share a different one with us. They acknowledge that the Department of Economic Opportunity did a data dump, and we have to look at each program differently. There are many economic development programs, so it may not be fair to characterize it that way. We just saw that report. We haven't seen that corrected. So as far as we understand, that's the fact that Enterprise Florida or Department of Economic Opportunity might be able to explain that data in more detail. Our understanding is some programs have jobs goals, some don't. Some programs like brownfields, it's just, and Walmart's received most of their money to build on brownfields. They're given an incentive, basically icing on the cake, most likely of a project that was already going to happen. They'd already baked the cake. A business like Walmart's smart enough to decide if they're going to build in a community or not. And I don't believe incentives make or break a project like that. These are smart companies that make smart investments. The CEO of Walmart doesn't go to their shareholders and say, because of this $100,000 incentive, we're going to build a store here. They're smart enough to know where and when they want to build their stores, and these incentives, at some point we may want to have the debate of whether or not they're necessary and effective in actually securing a company and the jobs here for Florida. We're not here to start that debate today, but that's a discussion that policymakers may want to have.
Well, in dealing with Walmart, of course, this has been going on for years, that they may create jobs, but they also take jobs away by putting local businesses out of business. Has been any look at that aspect of it?
I've heard those questions raised. We haven't specifically researched that, but we do have some related questions. One thing is, policymakers may want to consider, should a company like Walmart or other recipients of incentives post online all of their all of the new and retained position salaries and benefits figures Perhaps you put the tax bracket in the personnel title, but not their name, for state and local tax incentives packages. Because we want to make sure that high wage criteria, some of these programs require high wage criteria. Let's make sure no one's gaming the system. If a company brings in one high wage CEO or executive, and everyone else is on the state Medicaid program and food stamps, are they inflating the averages for the jobs they're creating? We want to make sure that no company is skewing the averages and essentially putting more costs on the backs of Florida taxpayers instead of actually creating higher paying jobs, as Enterprise Florida's stated targeted industry strategy is seeking to do.
You mentioned that you sat down with that very school and the folks at Enterprise Florida. You also mentioned the governor. Have you sent anything to the governor to try to affect some change?
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, we briefed John Costello, the legislative director for Governor Scott, about some of our initial concerns. And we acknowledged that at our meeting with Secretary Swope and our meeting with John Costello, this report wasn't finished yet. We shared just some early questions that we had related to these topics. But they've all received copies of the report. In fact, we provided an advance copy of the report to the governor's office.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody.